Well, hi, everybody. It's Carla Archer here helping you work on your wellness. And today I have a very special guest, Marla, and she is the Vitality Mentor and Health and Business Resiliency Strategist. And how business has changed in the last, I heard on the news today, we've been in for 50 days. I don't know how many days it's been, but it just sort of is trending into our new norm. And we really had to pivot and change the way that we do business and interact with people. And our online meetings and businesses have really become more prevalent. And today, Marla is here to talk to us a little bit about online meeting etiquette and body language. Hi, Marla. Thanks for joining
Hi.
me.
Thank you for having me, Carla.
Yeah, you bet.
Um,
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
well, I have a lot of years in business. So I've been self-employed most of my life. I have worked in the corporate world, but I love helping people just be successful with getting their message out, meeting the challenges that they think are overwhelming, and finding ways to relate to people. Because if we don't relate to people, we really don't build our business.
Right, exactly. And for a lot of people now, going to that online platform is something new. And so we're just here today to offer a few tips and suggestions on how you can better present a meeting, just some body language tips, and as a participant, some of the things you can do. So take it away, Marla. Give us some ideas of ways that we can be a little more professional and have some better etiquette online.
Great. Thank you very much. Um, So there's many of us are doing lives, and I'm going to start with some of those live videos that we're doing online. And the challenge is to be looking at your camera and making good eye contact. So I think we've all, if any of us have had training in speaking and delivering messages, we know that we have a message we intend, but we know it's not always what's received. And so the challenge we have when we're speaking in front of people and we're in our home or we're in our office or we just pick the most casual chair or we're walking in the park, like you had the experience the other day, Carla, where somebody was bouncing on their video, we need to be aware of the audience and we need to be aware of their need and how we're going to be perceived. So some of the tips that I've learned myself, I didn't create them all, is where is your camera on your video when you're looking at it? Is it right so that you are actually making eye contact with everyone? So the best recommendation I have is if anybody can see this, it's a little smiley face. So I want you to do a sticky and put a smiley face up next to your camera, and then that way you know that you're talking to the camera, not to your desktop, not to the side. You kind of have a direct eye contact with your customer or your clients or your people in your meeting. That is the best.
Now,
So,
Marla, just
yeah.
one second, your volume just decreased there a little bit when you put your sticky on your computer, just so that you know.
Okay. So can you hear me now?
Very little.
That's interesting.
Okay, right
So,
there is much better.
all right. Is it good now?
No,
So good now.
no. Come forward just a little bit. It seemed to
Is
shift.
it okay now?
No, I guess not.
I think it's the cord, and I thought this was good because it's been working for me. Um, so can you hear me now?
It's a little muffled, so just keep going on and
Okay, so my apologies. I This has been working for me on all of my videos. So let me just unplug and plug in.
sure.
Is that any better?
No,
A
that's
bummer.
okay.
Okay, as a professional, I'm going to move on, yell, and if you need me to go down, Carla, just give me a thumbs down. Um, So one of the other things to do with eye contact is to definitely keep your gestures comfortable, but not closed. So we all know the old theory about crossing your arms. You don't want to do that. So I highly recommend that you continue to not do that. If you're at home and you want to do the video while you're in a recliner, you need to sit straight. So the recliner is not always your friend. How many of you have seen those nice little pictures of a nose that you did not want to see? So go ahead and sit up straight and make sure that everybody sees you. Now I have a standing desk, but even to have eye contact with all of you, I have to put a couple of books under my uh, computer to get it to an eye level for me. So do what you need to do to plan ahead and get your functions going. The next thing that you want to do is then be sure to have 2 or 3 sticky notes, maybe up to the side with your key points that you want to deliver. And then you can have a theme to follow and not lose your place. So those are some of the basics. Did you hear any of those, Carla?
Yeah, I can hear them very, very faintly. So, which is too bad, Marla, because you have some wonderful tips to share with us today. I wonder if we just try that pop off and pop back in again.
I'm willing to try, so let me just go out and they'll come back.
Sure. Yeah, we'll just be 1 second here. She has such great information to share with us. We want to be able to actually hear what she's going to be saying, and that's part of what happens too when you're a presenter and you're doing a live interview or something. Be prepared for anything to happen. That's what typically happens. Let's see. How's that?
How's that? Any better?
Oh, there. Yes, now I can hear you loud and clear again.
All right, maybe we have a delay on the system too. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. So just the last couple things that you mentioned was put a sticky note so you can see your camera, and then position up with some books or something to have you at eye level, and a few sticky notes along the side to keep you following your train of thought.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then you took a tip that I gave you the other day, which is people want to see us. They like to see a bit of our environment. So don't do this in a messy space. Some people are using meetings in which they use a green screen, but I have to tell you, for me personally, that little shadow that shows up around the green screen is extremely distracting to me.
Yes,
I
I
find myself watching the shadow,
yeah,
and not the person. So that's something to always think about. So now I'm not telling you that to each side of my screen you want to see my room, but for the camera space, I'm good.
yeah. And so always get on and do a little practice first and check out your environment before you go live. See what's going on in behind you. Let people know that are in your house that you're doing a live so that you don't get interrupted. I've seen some of those funny videos online where some guy walks in his underwear and his wife's like, "I'm on live."
I know my husband luckily he's never done that, but he does say, let me know if you're going to do a video, especially if he's going to bed earlier than I am. And so, yes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, some really good tips. And I know, even myself just starting out doing more videos all the time, I always rewatch them to see where I can improve on. And as much as I still struggle sometimes with where my eyes are looking, I find it depends on what I'm reading on my screen and whatnot.
Well, like today, I want to look at you, and I think I'm still doing, but I realize I'm not directly at my camera. I'm trying to make eye contact with you. But
Right.
especially when we're delivering a solo video, we really want to be looking out there because people need to know we intend to be there. And the only way they know we have intention is we have made eye contact. And I want to back up, Carla, now that people can hear me. And I've coached a lot of speaking and presenting for marketers. And one of the things that we always hear is you need to deliver your message. But we forget that 90% of the message is us. And the words are great. You can practice those all you want. But your humanness is what is really going to create the relationship, create the interest, create the continuation. So don't worry if you hesitate or you stumble over words. You will get better with that. That's only confidence, and you have to have competence before you have confidence. So don't let those things stop you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And they say too, perfection is procrastination. We will never be perfect. And you really do. That's so very true, Marla. You really do build on your experience. I think back to my first video I ever did, and I was like a scared kitten. And and I have to laugh at it. But you know what? At the same time, I commend myself because it was a starting point, and it can only get better from there, really.
I know. And then be okay to laugh at yourself if you get off track. I mean, I can go down rat holes in a presentation. It's like, oh, wait a minute, Marla, that is TMI. Nobody needed to know that. Why did I even go there? And it's for anybody who skis, that's like all of a sudden you're carving a turn and you go, oh, look at that. And you're off your track, you fall in the snowbank.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So that's why you have the sticky notes. So you can carve your turns and you can make your point and then you can move on.
And that's what I really love about this program that we're using today as well, this StreamYard, is I create my banners and I kind of use those too to keep me on track. So that's a good system that works well for me. And what you said too really resonates. You know, people are connecting with you. And as much as your presentation, your information is there, they really want to get to know you, and either you resonate with them or you don't, you know, so to speak.
Right. Yes. And you asked me questions about meeting etiquette. And I do want to share a couple of things that I've noticed on the Zoom meetings that some of them are networking meetings that I've been in. And so what the first one is, again, make eye contact. So even if you're having that meeting on the phone because you were in your car, have something where it can be up in front of you. So you're making eye contact with everybody in the room. Many of these networking meetings that I'm going to, sometimes as many as 30 people, about 50% are looking down. And that's an hour of engagement that you have with people, and you want to be having your eyes there because actually they're going to think they're looking at you. And so make the contact. Don't just assume I'm on a phone and I'm in the meeting. It's be the same as sitting in a boardroom and you're always looking at your notes and you're never making eye contact with the boss. I got to tell you, the boss is not going to think you're a real cool dude when you get
Yeah.
out of there. So you want to make that eye contact. The other thing is some people are running dual screens. So I have a dual screen, but my camera's on my computer. So in one particular situation, I know one person is managing the meeting, but she's watching it off of her dual screen. So she really doesn't have eye contact with people while she's in the meeting unless she turns and speaks to them. And so she's a powerful woman. Everybody who knows her, there's not a consideration, but I'm looking at it as going, she's a player. She needs to be looking at the camera the whole time. And so so actually, you know how sometimes you go to a party and you want to be included in a group and you just can't quite work your way in. Well, these things are letting everybody be in the group. All they got to do is look at their camera.
Yeah, that's true. Hey. And it's so key what you say about body languaging because, you know, as human beings, we interpret emotions or safety or feeling of comfort just with the slightest things. Like you said, looking down at somebody or, you know, just the way your body's positioned, where you're looking, your smile, different things like that can connect you or disconnect you with people. So
yes. And they won't even know what triggered them.
yes.
They will just leave with an impression. And that is such the challenge of good communications is we have to be very self-observant. And that is a skill that's acquired. And it's one I have, but you know, even sometimes I watch my videos and my hands are all out of the screen because I'm excited.
Me too.
But I have to remember I'm talking into a box. So maybe I need to modify a bit.
I'm a fidgeter too, so I notice I'm always doing something with my hand, or if I happen to have a pen in front of me, I'm picking it up and doing what I do without being even conscientious of that off of the camera that I do. So, you know, it is good practice. And we don't tell you this to scare you away from doing it. You know what? Just do your thing. But these are just some tips to be thinking about and build on that. And I think in this environment too, people are pretty understanding that, you know, we've shifted gears and a lot of people are learning and building their ability to present. So they give a little bit of leeway to us out there, thankfully.
Right. And I just want to offer one other thing. If it's really important to you to do that video, and if you're at the gym, you're in your gym clothes, that's probably fine. But like today, Carly, you dressed up, you put on your jewelry, and it looks really, really nice. Me, I'm having a bad hair day, so I put on my do-rag, but I did put on a crisp shirt. And women just need to understand that t-shirts are not a very flattering thing to wear, as much as we'd all like to. And I get the privilege of saying that because I'm 71 And I do not look good in a t-shirt. If I want to impress, I'm not going to put a t-shirt on. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody, but just think about it. Keep one or two things in your closet that if you want to do a video, luckily none of us have to worry about the type of pants we have. We can have sweatpants on, but get a good top on or a nice piece of jewelry over your t-shirt. But just pop something so that you're a little more like, whoo, they're really sharp.
I love an interview that I saw on TV, and the guy had a nice suit jacket on and a shirt and everything. And his buddy goes, "You got your pajama pants on, don't you?" And he's like, "Sure do." So yeah, just get this part right. Anyways, and yeah, unless you're doing a full body. Now, on the flip side, a lot of people are engaging and participating in meetings, and there's some etiquette that's required there as well, because what you're doing on screen can be distracting and take away from the presentation. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Like you want to, a lot of people want to respond to their Facebook, and maybe they're on the computer, but then they go to their phone. That says you're not present. It would be the same as sitting in that meeting and looking at your phone to take a message. So put the phones away and stay focused on the one thing. Many, like if you're in a networking group, they give you 30 seconds or 60 seconds. Practice those that you're still on time. Be ready to set your own phone timer and manage your own time in case timing is tough. I was in a great meeting the other day where she said, okay, so-and-so you're up and so-and-so you'll follow. And then they time and they go, and it was very effective. Everybody, and then when she'd introduce the next one, then she'd remind the next one who they were. So she was always having two up, and they knew who was coming. Right. And it was very smoothly done and no waste of time. Like, oh, me, where she had to drag in somebody's attention. And then the other thing, clicking on the keyboard, like if you're wanting to, people know you're doing it. Look at my arms right now. Yeah. I was typing on the keyboard. They know that you're not 100%. And anytime we're making connections with human beings, they want to know we're 100%.
Right. And a lot of meetings I've been on where maybe the participants aren't engaging, they're just listening, so they've been muted. That's one thing too to be aware of. Make sure that you are on mute, because it can be very distracting and it can interrupt a train of thought, really that the presenter is offering. And same thing, like you were saying, maybe you're in a chair looking down. Well, how many people sit at those and they're looking straight up? So you got a perfect view up their nose. Sometimes I've seen people fall asleep during a presentation. Are you better off just to turn your camera off if you're not able?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, I've seen people, I know some of the people, like if they're my team members and they're on the phone, I know they've probably just gotten home from work and they're probably trying to eat dinner, but they want to participate at least for the information. Right. So when the video is off, it's their choice as to if they want to engage or not. But if all of a sudden they're done and the video comes back on, I'll acknowledge them. I'll probably acknowledge everybody who's in the meeting, but I won't try to engage that person if the video's off. So if you don't want to be engaged and you don't want to see anybody having to blow your nose or, talk to your kids or whatever the situation, or finish your dinner, then just turn the video off. And if you want to then be on once you're completed all those activities, then come on in. But we know you're listening because we can see you're there, and the audio always works. And I'm really referring to Zoom.
Yeah, and it's nice, I think, even still, because there's oftentimes I'm exactly in that predicament. You know what? I'm listening for the information, but I have other things going on. So rather than distracting everybody who's participating with my movement, or if I'm out for a walk or whatever, I can just still participate. And I think there's no shame in doing that. I mean, it shouldn't stop you from participating in your meeting. And there's the chat too. So if you have something you want to say, you can always jump in by chat and take it from there.
Right. And what I like about a lot of meetings is people are very positive in the chats. And so if you're feeling like you want to say something that's not upbeat, keep it.
Yeah.
Hold it. Write it on a sticky note. Throw it in the trash, but don't put it in the chat.
Well, and that kind of leads to facial expressions too, because if you're watching a presentation and you don't agree with something, well, you have to remember all of the other participants can see your face. and can see your reaction. So to, choose your expression as much as you choose your comment.
I know. I saw someone one day go,
yeah, like, what?
And it was like, oh, wonder what that person's story is. And then I totally lost the rest of the presentation because it's like, woo.
Yeah, and I think the more that we experience being on those types of meetings, the more we realize how important it is on how our body language and our etiquette is, out of respect for everybody else participating and for the presenter, especially because, when you get on that flow of your train of thought, it's distracting and it interrupts your flow when those things happen. But like today too, everything happens and you just got to pick up and keep moving. But the more we can do to respect that, I think the better for sure.
Right. So good. All right.
Excellent. Well, those are some awesome tips for us today, Marla. You're always so much fun. I really enjoyed talking to you. And thank you to everybody who joined us. I hope that this helps you, as you're out there, either doing your own videos or you're participating in programs through work or through learning, whatever avenue that it is, some of these tips. And if you're interested to learn more, I invite you to follow me here on Facebook at Carla Archer, helping you work on your wellness. Until next time, everybody, we'll talk to you again soon.